All right, let's discuss this further. Joining me now is retired U.S. Navy captain and national security and foreign policy expert Armen Kurdian. Thank you so much for being here. Let's listen to what President Trump said on News Nation this week about that mineral deal. We'll get your opinion on the other side.
You got the deal with Zelensky on the minerals. That means the United States is going to have a presence in Ukraine. Is that going to inhibit Putin, do you think?
Well, it could, but the reason I did that is that we're in for $350 billion or close to it, whereas Europe is only in it for $100 billion.
All right, so we get some of our investment back.
I wanted to be protected.
So now that the U.S. is invested in Ukraine this way, what kind of leverage, if any, does this deal give Kyiv in the peace negotiations with Russia?
That is a $64 million question, because it really depends on where the battle lines are going to be drawn and how soon we can get this war to end, or how soon we can get Russia to compel Russia to actually stop fighting. Because what's actually happening is that Russia continues to take territory, albeit at an incredible cost to themselves. But the territory they're covering, a lot of those rare earth mineral deposits, lithium, graphite, scandium, yttrium, all those things that we're talking about, a large part of it is actually currently under Russian control. So yes, we have a minerals deal with Ukraine, but how much can we actually exploit, and how far is the United States willing to go to actually enforce it? I think that's going to be a very interesting question, and it's going to be a very big chess game between Trump and Putin to see what we can actually accomplish with this deal, despite the fact that we actually have a signature.
Yeah, absolutely. President Trump really going to have to exploit those relationships he's built with both sides, Zelensky and Putin, which, of course, we know has colored so much of these talks and discussion. I want to play a quick soundbite. This is a retired Marine intelligence officer, Hal Kempfer, which he had to say about these ongoing relationships and dynamics between these three leaders. Take a listen.
President Trump clearly is realizing the relationship he had in his first term with Putin is not the relationship or the real relationship he has now. And that's kind of being incorporated into this. He's realized he's going to have to do something much more direct to move the dial, certainly with Putin. And he seems to have a much better rapport with Zelensky, which I think has changed the whole relationship in terms of how this could come about. But I think we're going to step back, use those measures, and see if the two parties come together.
So do you agree there with Mr. Kempfer about this not being the exact same relationship that Trump had with Putin from his first term? And then on top of that, do you think when Putin actually offers these short ceasefire deals, they're impressing Washington in any way?
100% agreement with the comments there, because I think it was necessary for Trump to make these overtures to Putin to try to get some kind of ceasefire, permanent peace deal, to get this minerals deal going and basically stop the carnage that's going on there. And it is important, I think, for him to see that Putin really is going to continue to prosecute this war as much as he possibly can to gain maximum advantage. I think Trump was genuine in trying to get a peace deal here. And, you know, if anybody could have done it, if the only person in the world that could have done it is probably Donald Trump. But Putin is going to say whatever he needs to, regardless of who's in the U.S. White House. And Trump has got to treat Putin like he treats anyone else he's trying to get a deal and force him to the actual table. Russia is getting financed. You know, they're selling oil to China. They're selling oil to Iran. So they got money coming in. They're flush with cash, despite the fact that they're going flat out to try to win this actual conflict.
Yeah.
But this chess game needs to end, and needs to end quickly.
President Trump promised American voters that he would get a deal done by the first day of his office. Obviously, we know we're more than 100 days in now, so no one wants a deal more than the President of the United States, that's for sure. Okay, retired Navy Captain Armen Kurdian, thank you very much for your time and your insight this evening.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, tune in for a News Nation special report on the Vietnam War 50 years after the fall of Saigon. Meet the then babies rescued by American heroes in flight to a new future. Live from the Vatican.